In a thrilling French Open final, 21-year-old American Coco Gauff defeated Aryna Sabalenka to win her second Grand Slam championship, continuing her ascent to stardom. 6-7, 6-2, 6-4 was the outcome of one of the decade's greatest women's finals, with Gauff falling to the clay in her moment of triumph. Gauff demonstrated all the traits that make her a veteran in a young woman's body during a competition between the two greatest athletes on the planet. She is an ancient soul with the exterior of a thoroughbred athlete. Sabalenka surged ahead and the number 2 seed rallied. She adjusted to the whirling wind better, then adjusted again when the wind subsided. She had a brilliant strategy for winning this match, and although her tactics changed, her foot flashing and leg pumping stayed the same. She covered every particle of clay, followed every drive, drop shot, and lob, and at the end, Sabalenka had nowhere else to go. The 27-year-old more than doubled her opponent's unforced error count with 70. After losing to Madison Keys in Australia, she has now lost 2 consecutive Grand Slam finals. This one will hurt, but the 27-year-old Belarusian is still the finest player in the world and is a heavy favorite going into Wimbledon. Gauff is the youngest American to win this title since, you guessed it, Serena Williams in 2002 and the first since Serena Williams in 2015. It was a windy day in Paris, and once the wind reached court level, Philippe Chatrier's architecture caused it to spin. How could tennis have been the cleanest in these circumstances? And between them, these two made 100 unintentional mistakes. However, the tense tactical struggle between two women who could play brilliantly well in spite of the wind was a lot of pleasure. The way these two manipulated the ball about the court, exchanging volleys and drop shots back and forth, was almost reminiscent of the Evert-Navratilova finals. They were tied 1-1 in majors and 5-5 in head-to-head going in. The 2023 U.S. Open was Gauff's lone prior slam final victory. The world's most athletic, best defensive player takes on the world's most formidable, best attacker in an intriguing matchup. Gauff was broken twice as Sabalenka surged ahead. The American was facing another thumping final after losing to Iga Swiatek 6-1, 6-3 here in 2022, behind 4-1 and 40-0. However, Sabalenka's serving routine was disrupted by a wind uplift, which gave Gauff the opportunity to regain the match. Although Gauff had clearly entered the fight with the intention of being aggressive, she instead backed off, concentrating on lengthening the points and using her legs to try to make it more of a running match than a striking contest. Thus, Sabalenka's 4-1 double break advantage turned into a 4-4-1, similar to her victory over Swiatek in the semi-final. 5 consecutive breaks led to a tiebreak because both women were having trouble on serve. After an hour and 15 minutes, at 6-6, 5-5, we were in the realm of sudden death after erasing an early Gauff lead. Sabalenka's courage paid off when she charged the net to win 2 consecutive points. Gauff was hit, but there was no need to give up after rallying from a 4-1 deficit. Just the first set had lasted longer than her last time on this platform, when Swiatek crushed her 6-1, 6-3 in 2022. Gauff immediately returned to work, winning 6 consecutive service breaks before consolidating for a 2-0 lead. In the second set, the wind settled, which should have favored Sabalenka, but Gauff won the match. She felt that the cleaner conditions provided her more opportunities to attack, and she demonstrated tennis knowledge that defies her age. She began using her backhand down the line more frequently and making her own drop shots. A meeting of the number 1 and number 2 seeds would then lead to a deciding set. With a break and a 2-1 lead after 3 games in which he made no unforced errors, Gauff was suddenly playing lockdown tennis. With a few drops of rain falling and the Paris skies growing darker, would the roof closing cause another change in the weather? It was so dark that the lights were on, but the rain did not fall. In part because of a double fault by Gauff, Sabalenka broke after saving 2 break points to stay in touch at 2-3. Gauff was playing her best tennis of the match off the ground, but Sabalenka was still intrigued because of her shaky second serve, which gave up 4 double faults. After a brilliant comeback preserved a championship point with Gauff serving for the title at 5-4, Sabalenka brought up break point. She tried a second serve again, but this time she pulled the forehand wide. Gauff won the match after forcing Sabalenka to make a final unforced error on her second match point. Despite double faults, she committed 2 unforced errors in the decisive set, which is how the French Open is won. The debate over women's tennis platforming has dominated this 2-week period at Roland Garros. No matter how obscured they have been in the drowsy parts of the schedule or how sparse the stands are, the player's genius has brought light to this women's event. It has been an incredible event, from Sabalenka's destruction of Swiatek's kingdom of clay to the incredible run of French wildcard Lois Boisson. Gauff and Sabalenka made sure it ended beautifully.